Scott Golden, Golden Opportunities Coaching, and the @PO Perception YouTube channel here. Welcome to those of you who are new. Today we're going to talk about what to do if you lost your motivation and the value in that. You know, motivation is really just the opportunity to stay focused. And the focus that we have is a desire for growth, a desire for progress, a desire to keep moving, keep growing. And if you are new here, I encourage you to subscribe, like, and comment on this channel. If you're here, it's because you want to get to that next level. Motivation is useful, but practice and habits are more so. When you use habits and practices that lead you to feel like you're making progress, you will stay motivated, because the key to motivation, the key to being motivated, the key to staying motivated is a progress-based mindset. And so how can we do that? You know, when we're overwhelmed, when we are looking at life and thinking or feeling that life is not going according to plan, the best way to do that is to understand the definition of where you are is not the definition of where you're going. Who you are is not defined by what you have done. And then the other thing too, change your body language on a consistent basis. You know, most often we're looking at our phones, we're looking at our tablets, we're looking at what's going on social media, we're looking at a computer screen. The majority of people are more in touch with their computers than they are with other human beings, and that can be damaging. So even if it means that once every couple of minutes or once every half hour, at least once every hour, get up, move around, shake it out, and make sure that you're creating physical motion within your body. Without physical motion, you become stagnant and your mind goes into its automatic responses. That is not in your best interest, because if you're in your automatic responses, you're going to do things in a disengaged way and you're going to feel lethargic. The things that you do most often are the things that you feel you don't have to think in order to be able to do, the things you feel you don't have to grow in order to be able to do. So when you can interrupt the pattern of going into that automatic space, you can have a better quality of life overall. Another thing that you've got to do is reaffirm, maybe every day, maybe at least once a week, why am I doing what I'm doing? Professionally, personally, spiritually, or in your belief systems. You've got to look at your why, because if you don't have a compelling relationship with your why, nothing else you do is going to matter ever. Because if you don't have a relationship with your why, then staying motivated or staying driven is virtually impossible. At very best, it's improbable, because if you're just doing it from that space of confusion or that space of obligation will kill your joy and your progress quicker than anything else. Now, that's not to say we shouldn't have obligations, but if you're not committed to an obligation, really look at how you're using your time. Really look at whether the use of your time is efficient, effective, progressive, or destructive. And then the other thing too, surround yourself with people that force you to level up. Just because you're connected with somebody doesn't mean they're good for you. Just because you're related to somebody doesn't mean they'll help you grow or they belong in your life experience. Just because you have a history with somebody doesn't mean they're part of your present moment destiny. And so you've got to keep people around you that are focused in the similar direction to you, focused on progress, focused on moving forward, reaching their goals, attaining their aspirations, and keeping you accountable. Having accountability partners, so very important, especially in a time when it's easy to quit. It's easy to quit your diet. It's easy to quit thinking positively. It's easy to quit when you need to work harder to get that promotion. It's easier to quit with a lot of things we do because we have a million reasons not to continue when it doesn't feel good. So check your emotional state and get really good about asking one very valuable question. Not how do I feel? We stay stuck in our feelings far too often. The better question to ask is, how do I desire to feel? How do I want to feel? What's going to happen to me if I continue to feel the way I am? And what do I really want out of my life experience, the emotions I'm having, the experiences I'm having? Do I really want to be in this state of being in the next little while? Another way to stay motivated is to understand the impact that you can have long range by staying focus driven. If you understand your impact, you'll stay committed. If you understand your impact, you'll stay connected, because then there'll be a bigger connection to your why. If you don't feel like what you're doing every day matters, then start talking to people who are having, and I know this is going to sound weird, but start talking to people that are having it worse than you, because here's the thing. When you feel that you can help someone that's in a more struggled or difficult position than you are, it's easier for you to begin to understand and see yourself as capable of making a difference. When you can lift other people up and serve them, that's where you're going to make the biggest difference in your own life, because you're going to feel good. That desire for committed, connected contribution to the rest of society is essential, not only to your growth, but to keeping you on point. Sometimes you've got to condition yourself with rewards. How do you stay motivated? If you have to, if you're really having a rough day, convince yourself, trick your brain into believing that you can do it by giving yourself a reason to stay present, whether it's an extra phone call, an extra binge episode on Netflix that night, an extra peanut butter pie, a piece of peanut butter pie, not a whole pie, hopefully, but whatever it is, convince yourself that through having the reward of the extra, you can, do something great. Also, sometimes it's, do I want to live with the regret? Do I want to live with the regret of not showing up today? One phone call I don't take could be the phone call that makes me $1 million. The one conversation I don't have is the one that can lead me to the link that would take me to that next level in my professional career. The one time I don't respond to somebody is the date that I don't have that ultimately misses me out on a partner that could be really good for me. So, do you want to live with regret? If you want to stay motivated, you've got to make regret your enemy. And the reality of the situation is this: the more you make regret your enemy, the easier it becomes for you to begin to understand that every moment counts. See in the moment if you can find reasons to stay excited. See in the moment if you can find reasons to stay committed and connected. Because if you can, if you really do see yourself as capable of, having even short-term bursts of positivity and progress, you'll then be able to give yourself downtime. That's another thing about staying motivated. Give yourself cool down time. Don't expect to stay motivated for a full 6, 8, 12 hours. Go in bursts. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to take a regimented break. Schedule your time efficiently, effectively. Figure out what you need to do and how you need to do it before you start your day. Set your mind towards growth and learning everywhere you can about the management of your time, because we all have the same amount of time every day. It's how we use it, though, that ultimately determines our level of success, our level of engagement, our level of impact and commitment to the goals that we have, and also the level of work that we must do in order to be successful. A person who's using their time well is going to shave about 30 to 50% of their stress off simply by being effective and efficient. And effective and efficient doesn't mean working without taking breaks or working without having enjoyment. It means having space for both. The balance of both is where your power is. The balance of both is where your progress is. When you don't take time for any enjoyment, you're going to disengage. You're going to feel it's too heavy. You're going to feel it takes too long, and then you're going to quit on yourself before you get where you want to go. At the same time, show up and have plans to work. Have plans to work as hard as you can for an extended period of time, as long as you can handle it and be at peak performance. Usually for most people, that's somewhere between 45 and 90 minutes. The average person, after 90 minutes, their mind begins to disengage. Now, getting away from the focus of what you need to be doing, you only need to take a 15 to 30 minute break in between those 90-minute sessions. So you can use effectively and efficiently a good bit of your day and stay on it. The other thing too is watch what you put into your mind. There's so much negative news every day. There's so much on various news channels and networks and all these places. So don't put into your mind things that are going to take you down an emotional path you don't want to go. Now, I'm not saying stick your head in the sand, but limit the amount of mainstream media coverage of things that you see so that you're not focused on all that's wrong with the world, because that's the message that's given. Same goes for Facebook, Twitter, and all other social media networks. You can check in, but have that regimented too. Have that regimented to X amount of time per day for a set length of time. Disallow yourself from engaging with it throughout the day because it is a mindless task. What that means is it'll go into your automatic responses. Yes, you get the dopamine from the process of connecting with people. Yes, it simulates the friendships that we no longer have, many of us, because we don't take time to actually meet with somebody either by phone or in person. But the issue is it doesn't really lead one anywhere, because at the end of the day, the reality of the connection is it's not based in progress. In other words, unless you're having full-on direct conversations with somebody via an IMer or something like that nature, checking in on social media has very little return on investment value. Another thing to stay motivated is to look at where you've come. Progress journal, audio or written. Find a way to make every day notations of what you've accomplished so that on the days you feel disengaged, you can look back at it for 10, 20, 30 minutes and go, wait, a month ago I was here, 3 months ago I was here, 6 months ago I wasn't even near where I needed to be. Study people who have done what you're trying to do. Become a student of life. Become a student of the game. It's not the sense of traditional education that's going to get you paid or going to take you anywhere long term. What's going to get you paid is studying people who do what you want to do or are already doing it and have the knowledge that takes you where you want to go. Realize that life is not a guarantee. It owes you nothing but gives you everything. Everything that you need is right there. The opportunities, the chances, the choices. Your life is three things. It's the actions you take, the chances you take, and the choices you make. It's those three things. So if you're not where you want to be and it's hard to get motivated, what it means is you're focused on the wrong stuff. Or the not even wrong stuff. Let me retract that. On counterproductive, destructive, non-progressive stuff. So if you're not getting the most out of your life on a day-to-day basis, look at where your focus is and has been, and look at whether you, yes you, can change your focus to influence your outcome. Also understand that you are one of a kind. The more you focus on your self-esteem, which for the record is not given to you by anybody else, so don't worry about the critics, use them as fuel for fire, but don't let them become the definition of your destiny. Don't let them become who you naturally are or who you naturally dominantly listen to. Take what they say, see if there's anything you can learn from it, and throw the rest away. So often, people rob themselves of progress and joy, not because they're unintelligent, not because they don't matter, not because they don't count, but because they choose to listen to somebody who, at the end of the day, doesn't have any ability to really help them forward and is jealous or is focused on holding you back because the frustration is not where you want it to go. At the end of the day, you've got to look for and from a deeper perspective. If you want to stay motivated, stay hungry. Convince yourself and know within yourself that you're going to do things. You're going to be the trailblazer, the trendsetter, the person who does what no one said was possible. You're going to do the things that everybody says really couldn't be done. You're going to do it because you can. You're going to do it because that's why you were born. You align your energy with progress. Ignore the things that lead you away from progress. Not as in don't do them, but if they need to be done, those are the things you put on autopilot. Yeah, you got to do the dishes, but while you're doing the dishes, you can have that next business plan. You can have a conversation with somebody. You can do things that are going to lead you forward in any moment. The things that go on autopilot are the things that don't have to matter as much to you. Stay motivated. Stay hungry. Find your tribe of people who get you, understand you, and if you haven't found it yet, have the faith to believe that you can find one person who gets you, who will link you with another. We're going to call this the Progress Tribe here on the Golden Opportunities channel. I encourage you, like, subscribe, comment below, and I'd love to hear your ideas. What are you trying to progress on? Another thing, too, as we close for today, once we get to 100 subscribers, we're going to give away a month's coaching to one lucky viewer. So the quicker you want to get there, $350 value. If you want to get there, help by sharing this video with others. And before we close, I remind you, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.